Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Recollection Step, a Grand Archive TCG podcast, part of the Maindeck podcast family. I'm Dan, and joining me today as a guest co-host is Maindeck David from Careful Study. How are you doing, David?
I didn't fool you. I thought I could fool you and pretend I was Taylor.
I was just about, I was like, man, that looks like Taylor, but I just something a little bit off.
What if I pull the hair out? Does that?
Hey, never mind. I'm sorry, guys. I thought David was here, but Taylor is joining us today. So no.
Pleasure to be here, sir. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. We're happy to have you on now. Just so people at home know, I did post this on socials a little bit, but Taylor is not permanently off the podcast or anything. He is taking the month off to test for London specifically. So Taylor's going to be heading to Ascent London, his first Ascent appearance since Boston, I think. And Boston, let's be honest, David, Taylor was not there for Boston. Taylor was basking in his glory of being the world champion.
He was just there to have fun.
Yeah. Exactly. In London, Taylor is going to be trying quite a bit harder again. And so I figured David and I were talking. David came and said, hey, it'd be fun to chat a little bit. And we thought, well, this is a perfect chance. Let's let Taylor chill and test and work with the team and make everyone world champion quality. And David and I can chat a little bit. So, David,
I know my way around a microphone here and there.
You do. Yeah, that's what I wanted to get at right away is we have an opportunity here. Mm-hmm. Who are you anyway? Let's talk about it.
I'm just a guy outside of Philadelphia who likes to talk about Grand Archive a lot. I will very frequently just grab a random person and say, have you heard the good news about Grand Archive?
Just off the street, just anyone,
just random people. Yeah,
that's aggressive. I like it.
I'm very much, very much in love with the game. I've been playing TCGs for, dear God, it's going on 30 years now.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah, and it wasn't until I started playing Grand Archive again that spark got reignited. I was always dabbling here and there with Magic because you never fully quit Magic.
No.
And Grand Archive really brought out the kind of that love I had for TCGs back in the 90s because I'm like, ooh, this is familiar but new all at the same time. I got very involved with it at our local card shop. I'm constantly offering to demo it, showering people in bulk that I have, always spreading how much of a good a game it is, the organized play, everything about it is fantastic. And I got to the point where I actually started making content about it. I never thought I would kind of be in that position, but two other locals, two other Maindeck members, Stevo and Corbin, or leoblade. We started recording a podcast well over a year ago. I mean, I guess it's actually, we're coming up on nearly 2 years of Careful Study. We started out as just an audio podcast because I was very intimidated about the idea of doing something on a regular schedule. I kind of just wanted to record when we recorded, and that was that. And then it started to get a little bit more and a little bit more. And I'm just like, okay, we could do a little bit more. And then, the nationals and worlds came about. And like, all right, we can add some video to this and we can start recording maybe a couple of shorts, maybe a little bit of a long form video. I was really interested in getting a spoiler at one point. So that was a little bit of motivation to go to the YouTube and so forth. But for the most part, I'm kind of just doing it so that I can really share and build the community. Because
Yeah.
I want to see the game grow. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, if we have listeners who have been listening for a long time to Rec Step, they may be like, why is this guy so familiar? But David, we did have you back on. I don't remember the episode number. It was a while ago.
It was a while ago, yeah.
It was like your first or second regional or something. I don't remember if it was the first one that you had, but you were hosting a regional at Banish Zone, which is the locals that you guys like to attend and play at. And you wanted to get anybody in the Northeast region or Eastern region at all just to come to this event. Yep. So we had you on, and you did tell people a little bit about it then. But I mean, since then, David, I feel like you've really ingrained as a core part of the team. You know, our core like aggro testing partner. Like, hey, make sure you respect this deck. You know, always bringing the chicken to the table.
And Philo and FISA and anything that goes fast.
Yeah, that's been really great. So I think one of the coolest things has just been seeing how you've taken careful study. And, you know, I think like you were getting at, a lot of times with content creation, it can feel when you're starting like, I just want to do this. I don't need to do anything crazy. I don't need to go out of my way to get a fancy camera or anything. I just want to make something. I just feel like I got thoughts. I got to get out there or whatever. And sometimes for people it ends there. Other times for people they find, you know, there's something I like about this. There's something I want to keep doing about this. So it's been great to see Careful Study grow. Now Careful Study has, by the way, everyone, if you're on YouTube, it's Careful Study's channel is linked down below. This is also a collab video. It'll be everywhere. But if you like hearing David talk here, obviously you will enjoy being subscribed to their channel too, because you're going to hear David talk a lot. And so you should go do that. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing, right? So in a little, I think I'm going to have to stop that conversation for a little bit, because that's really the thrust of our episode today is we're going to talk about your content creation journey, David. And I think as just a slightly newer Grand Archive content creator, I started honestly like not that much before you, all things considered, especially when you put it in the frame of reference of it's been almost 2 years since you actually started doing anything.
Right. Well, again, we were just audio for a year. So.
Right. But yeah, I mean, like, I think from that and like you've had this journey of growth at a different time than when I started covering Grand Archive for Maindeck, or previously for the real old hats, Metamaniacs is what we were called right away. And then we changed to a good name. So that was good. But you've always had a good name, thankfully. When I think at that part of the conversation later on, we'll have a nice comparison of like someone who's been a little more ingrained and someone who's been a little newer, and just some of the elements, the challenges, the also the great things that have happened along the way. And yeah, I think we'll have a good conversation about that. Right away though, David, because for all our Grand Archive fans, there's a bit of news obviously that's been huge, which is Manila happened, Ascent Manila.
Yeah.
And it, David, I want to start with this. What did Manila meet your expectations? Like when you saw the results of Ascent Manila, were you like, yep, yeah, exactly what I thought, or was it different?
It was quite different, honestly. I was expecting it to be dragons.
All the way down.
I was expecting it to just be dragons all the way down, and it was not dragons all the way down. It was a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think you're not alone. So the winner of Ascent Manila, I did a whole meta update video. If you guys didn't catch that, head on over there. We'll break there. I'm going to break down every deck just so that in this podcast, I'm not going to post like deck lists or anything like we do sometimes. I already did that in a video. So just go over there if you want to see everything. But yeah, Mike 0615 was the winner. I loved seeing that, first of all, because Mike has been playing Tristan for forever. Like I didn't double check Worlds, but he might have been. He's one of or the only player who's playing Tristan in Swiss in Worlds. Mike's a stupendous Tristan player, and yeah, I think it was a well-deserved Ascent win. But man, Dragon like crazy right now. It's so good.
I do love to see kind of like that expert at a champion do well and have their moment in the sun, especially when they're well positioned into someone like the demon right now, which is the dragon.
Yeah.
And that's always wonderful to see. But my goodness, I didn't expect to see Lorraine, Suzaku, Luxem Xander, and Merlin. I guess you gotta always expect Merlin, right?
I didn't. Okay. I think, well, one thing I did expect to see was Dragon. I agree. Dragon, 100%. I knew it was going to be there. I was hoping to see some more of the new decks kind of pop off, some people who found refined lists, or at least like stuff like Diana or CL, like really making it in with some of their new little toys. But yeah, like what surprised me the most about this whole thing, I can't decide. It was either that Luxem came back, like what? Okay. But furthermore, I was confident all this new stuff would just kick the snot out of Crux. Like what? I thought everyone would go, and I was kind of right because Fire Ablation CL or at least Fire Umbra CL was the most played list in the tournament. So a lot of people pushed it to the side or pushed Crux to the side to play CL.
Yeah.
But the CL didn't top, the Crux did. So I don't know.
Very surprising to me. And while I haven't looked at all the matchups and so forth, my experience playing Kingslayer Crux into CL, especially Fire CL, it is rough. It is very rough. So I was very surprised not to see any top 8 CLs up there at all.
Well, here's an interesting question for you then. I mean, as a sort of an in-house Fire expert, so that matchup, obviously, I agree totally. It's a rough matchup because the inevitability CL has is absurd. The explosiveness CL has, I guess, all those Fire level 3 decks, they have inevitability of some kind.
Yeah.
But it's that CL goes, I don't really care what you're doing. Here's 1 million damage right now, and also I just drew 12 cards or something sometimes, or here's 2 sources of 15 fast speed damage, or depending on the build, right?
Unpreventable.
Unpreventable pings like that is here. Like Crux decks rely on their norm cards to stop damage. They rely on Crystallized Destiny. They rely sometimes on the in-caps or annul spells cards we've seen in the past have come up just as like, I need to get these through. But Crystallized Destiny has by far become one of the most popular ones. And CL, that's fine. but I already have Armor in play. I don't really care.
Right. And I mean, I think the kind of like the breakout norm card was Topsy.
That was what I was going to say. Like as the Fire expert now, do you think Topsy Decree that maybe flipped that on its head because, I mean, appropriately so, I guess, based on the name, it turned things topsy-turvy in that I think now CL out of those 3 decks is the one who is most relying on certain cards being in the graveyard. And I think CL like walks into, if he tries to go, okay, Creative Shock Advent, I'm going to omen it. He walks himself right into Topsy to the point where I think CLs have started to go, I'll just omen it out of hand then. And they're like minusing themselves in case you have Topsy, right? Do you think that's like that's the moment now?
It's fast speed raccoons is a heck of a thing.
Yeah.
Because when you can start removing the power of their graveyard away and having the -1 from your hand is not great, especially if you got an imbued Topsy, because they could make you pitch and then remove whatever you pitch from the graveyard as well. So you gotta sit there and think, oh, well, I guess I gotta remove the least good card from my hand instead of the one that I actually wanted to omen. So yeah, there's Topsy is really going to make you think as that aggro CL Fire player, like, well, my graveyard is no longer that good of a resource as I once thought it was.
Yeah, and it also has the Spell Shroud mode, right? And like that's another thing that's super relevant. Again, it surprises me that Merlin got there, but it doesn't surprise me as much that Lorraine did because she doesn't care at all that exists. But both Merlin and CL, when they get to the late game and they're trying to win. Topsy has a way to stop several of their like major routes. In the case of CL, if they ever go for a Foe Awakening play, pitch the hand and try and set up the line to Lost Providence and then Armoire to get another foe, and then Omen, that they're setting up a bunch of triggers to deal unpreventable damage, but they're as a spell. So while Crystallized Destiny doesn't matter, Topsy giving you Spell Shroud in response to the triggers, I think that's another difference maker in the matchup.
It is, and I feel that the Merlin deck, the Crux Merlin deck that made its way into the top 8 was running Topsy itself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I feel that the newest card, the one that I believe we actually spoiled in a hot tub.
We did, yeah.
Flared Iridescence does a lot of work to make Topsy a little. It stings a little less when they go in for the Spell Shroud. Now, yeah, they then have to make decisions. Do I take that card out of your graveyard, or is there a Fireball coming up next? So you've got a Merlin now that's essentially sitting on 8 Fireball like Empower cards. There's not enough Topsies to deal with all that.
Yeah, I think the fact that they're all fast speed, and you bring up a really good point about Flared Iridescence that is very tricky about it, in that if you use it early, it does become a target for Topsy to get that Ephemerate. But at the same time, I think the fact that it has several activations is timing wise going to be like kind of interesting too, because you can let it you can like in response to Topsy, you can Flare Iridescence from hand, that resolves, and then you can immediately Ephemerate it out again for another chunk of damage. So it really does Merlin just having so many fast speed options is probably a pretty big difference. I don't know. It's cool. Like I said, I was not expecting Crux to be there, but props to the players, obviously, like experienced players bringing a good deck. Topsy Decree, insane tech. I wonder, going into London now, everyone knows about Topsy Decree. What changes?
More of it.
more of it. More Topsy.
More Topsy. I honestly don't know. Like, outside of playing around it or expecting your graveyard to get removed, expecting things to be pitched, I do not know what counters Topsy.
Yeah. It's so, like, I think one thing we're going to see from Topsy here is that I want water so badly to be back in the game. And I know a lot of listeners out there echo that sentiment. It's a rough time for water right now because Topsy is very, very good at, frustrating water as well by banishing their core source of card advantage for a lot of water decks, which is like floating memory effects. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, water is the one element who can say, you have to hold up, if you're going to Topsy me right now, you have to hold up 6 to not get frostbound. It does make me wonder if we can get a list together that is water oriented, that does play to this. I mean, Diana right now, obviously Aetherwing Diana is right there, right on the cusp every time. And maybe it's just taking Diana and saying, fine, if you're going to play this stuff, I'm just going to go for Frostbind. I'm just going to make it impossible. I'm going to put Enfeebling Orb in. I'm going to do everything I can to make it so that your things can't resolve and deny me value. But I can't help but think there's got to be like a Genbu or something list out there that can just go, you know what, I'm just going to play straight into it and be ready to negate everything. Does that make any sense at all?
I think it does. I think what holds water back right now, though, is the dragon in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, will you be able to take on some of the decks that are being played to counter the dragon? But if you get matched up into the dragon, you're not in a happy state, to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah. what do we do then? What's dragon? How do we beat dragon? Give the advice to the listeners out there. Everyone out here saying, you know what, you're right. Dragon is the best deck in the room. We had that Reddit post where they like Saryu's broken. What is the advice from careful study for dealing with dragons?
Well, I think that Tristan is a fantastic answer. Mm-hmm. I think she has fantastic utility into the field. I think she's always been extremely strong. You can always count on her to be viable, especially in a skilled player's hand. Mm-hmm. If, Luxem pops up like it just did, though, then but there's so much. If you play this, now I have to hope that they don't play that type of thought process going around right now. And then, of course, you could always just play dragon yourself.
Right. If you can't beat them, join them.
Join them. I would say if you're not a dragon player, become a Tristan player. That's my thought. If you're neither of those, then keep playing the deck that you love and the one that you feel that you're an expert at. Mm-hmm. Because while that deck that matchup might be poor for you, if you can turn a 70-30 into a 60-40 and you're the 40 in that, that's still a better shot than someone going in blind and just picking the best deck.
Sure. Just playing Tristan right now, I'd say this as a longtime Tristan player, just picking up Tristan now, having never played it before and going, well, yeah, now I got dragon. It's no problem. You're probably going to lose to dragon unless you're a very good player already.
You need reps. You definitely need the reps.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of the main deck team is I don't really want to play Tristan right now just because it's such a mental grind. I like it, but it's not for everybody.
My last piece of advice would just be YOLO chicken.
YOLO chicken. I mean, it worked. It worked in Manila.
As someone who has played aggro decks in many games and GA so much, if you're going to go and just, YOLO the aggro deck, you gotta go in there with the mentality that you could just zoom through there and take those win after win after win after win. And then sometimes you just face all the people who have all the answers to you. Mm-hmm. And you're just out. You're not going to even see day two. Sometimes it's such a coin flip, but you get to play the chicken.
You get to play the chicken. You get to do big damage. Chicken has ways around Calming Breeze. That's the nice thing right now. If you're looking at aggro decks, you need something that can go 4 damage or more, not just things of 3. That's one of the big struggles. But we love a good chicken. I think every deck, I maybe not every. I probably shouldn't say every, but a lot of decks have more potential outs to Saryu than people realize. I think. I think there are cards that people. I mean, if you're a level 3 deck, you already have things like Regal that can disrupt turbo combos. If you can get there first, that usually requires you going on the play and them having a rough hand because Saryu is extremely fast at leveling.
And it's very consistent too. And
extremely consistent at doing so. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But I think some of the big things are obviously our assassins have our ensnaring fumes, have arrow traps and dream fairies if you want to go that route. But ensnaring fumes, that's the big one. I know we've messed around a little bit internally on trying to make Ponytail Merlin work in various shells. And a card that's come up there for Saryu is Exploit Vulnerability. So for potential fire or water assassin players, you can look at Exploit Vulnerability as a new way to surprise, get the dragon out of your way. You do have to live a turn. That's a struggle.
You do have to live.
But, doable. We did see back in Akihabara, in quarterfinals, we saw the double immolation trap come to. To be fair, it was a top decked second immolation trap, but when you have it, you have it.
Good player.
Yeah, good players draw cards when they need them.
I've been a longtime fan of the Immolation Trap. It was what I've used to deal with all sorts of Shigenja the whole time. So yeah.
I think, though, there are still some other interesting avenues to explore. I think if we can find a water deck that can feel like Frozen Dismissal is a good inclusion in it, just to dismissal the D guide can really stifle what's happening that turn, and kind of give you an opening to develop a better board before Dragon starts threatening you, or develop a better hand so you can counter what's being played. There are routes, I think, they're like, I want to encourage people to continue to look at avenues to combat the Dragon, because it is definitely the best deck right now, but it's not, as we see in every single Ascent, like we were saying at the start, we expected more Dragons at the top of Manila, but people find ways, right? They find ways to beat it. Life finds a way.
I mean, I expect to see, oh man, the name of the card just slipped my mind. I just had it in my head.
What does it do?
Magistrate, right?
Eternal Magistrate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I expect to see more of that, because it needs to stop their turbo plan. You need to stop them from leveling as fast as they do. So anything you can play to stop them from playing their material deck outside of materialization is what is needed.
Yeah, and then like furthermore, I think there are some decks that can just spike damage really fast onto Guoja too. Like you said, there are plenty of aggro decks, but there are I think people should explore some of the aggro champions that they're choosing maybe, and look at some of their routes too, because especially after AMB Alter Edition, which I'll have a video next week about the 5 cards that I think are most impactful from Alter. I think some content creators are like way underselling this set of cards. David,
I'll have some stuff.
Yeah. I don't think we are seeing from Alter Edition like generic stuff like Frozen Dismissal that we've seen, and they were like, oh, this is like a 10 out of 10. Like, you're going to sideboard this, it'll change matchups. But I think there are some niche strategies from AMB Alter that got some really powerful cards. And what I'm expecting is to maybe, and I'm not 100% on this, but maybe see some of these niche strats pull into relevancy, which may impact now like our matchup matrices. If that
Jin got some love.
And Jin is actually not one of them that I think is getting the most most help from AMB Alteration, unfortunately, because I love Jin, and I wanted. He is. I do like his Exia card. I'll talk about that, but it's actually my number 5 on the list. I think there are 4 cards that are potentially more impactful than that in that list of cards, but I can't say them now. I have to save them for the video, so you come back and watch it.
All right, I'll definitely watch it, and then you'll have to watch mine as well.
David's gonna have a video up the next day. It's like why main deck is wrong about Alter Edition. Like really farm the content,
farming those views.
Yeah.
You a picture of you looking all like.
Yeah, I'll send you one of me like really really mad, so you can use that.
We have several already.
Oh yeah, easy to find.
We can farm you for memes.
Yeah, great, perfect. I don't know. Maybe I guess I'd be honored if I finally reached the standpoint in the community where people wanted to react to my stuff or whatever, use me for views. Like, okay, I guess I can't be mad. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But I think some interesting stuff was happening in Manila. Some interesting new cards, at least, even if the format was like a lot of the same decks. But we'll see where it goes in London now. Obviously, like I said, we've got the team going to London. Taylor's testing hard, so we'll see what they bring.
I want to make a prediction, but my Manila prediction was so off. So I'm going to go with the deck I love the most, Pure Rye.
Pure Rye. You did a short on Pure Rye, a Pure Rye list that popped off pretty well, actually.
I mean, Muck's list was awesome.
Yeah.
I absolutely adored it.
I will be straight up. I did not fully understand the list until I was listening to True Champs podcast, and they said, "Oh yeah, no, it's Arcane Sight, Lineage release to banish them." And I was like, "Oh, wait a second, that's like really scary."
Like to use the new spirit like that, it's brilliant. I love it. I absolutely love it, and I feel that Rye has been grossly underrepresented.
I think that's true.
Any time we get to see more Rye players is better. So I want to see more pure Rye going on.
Okay, I'm with you. I was going to just say my dumb take, which is I think this is going to be the event where it's going to be like 5 or 6 Seiryu in top 8 or something. And possibly. I mean, I think that's a dumb guess though, because that's not even like a hot take guess. That's what everyone thinks is going to happen, I think. So I'm going to actually just join you for this in that I think we're going to see a Spirit of Purity Rye in top 8.
Pure Rye, let's go.
That's all I want to see. All I'm saying is top 8. I'm not saying it's going to win the event, but I hope it does.
Yeah.
That would be insane. Yeah, I mean, talk about a deck that can just pop off and go, and hey, you have a dragon. I have 70 damage. Like, I don't know what you're...
And like... I love watching combo decks. I'm terrible at playing them, but I love watching people play them because this comes from like, you know, decades of watching Magic the Gathering and watching people play those combo decks, and you see them and it gets to the point in the meta where like the opponent knows like, oh, show me your combo pieces. Oh, okay, you win. But seeing people play them out and like the first time explaining how the combo works and going off, it's just it's a thing of beauty. It's like watching like a computer calculate the damage that he's about to deal.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really fun. At least as long as like I think everyone maybe can think of an experience for someone who's like kind of not the nicest person is like explaining why you lose now and you should just give up. But when it's two people who are having fun and one person's like, okay, get this is crazy. I'm going to do this and then this is going to happen. You know, and that's really fun. Okay, hang on. But for our guests here, how does this deck? Topsy Decree is pretty good against this, isn't it?
Very.
I'm like, surely there's like a piece of tech in here. Topsy is a spell, so we do have a null spell. We have a null spell. Okay.
Yeah.
A null spell, 2 in the main. Maybe need to get more in the side. Yeah, but okay. I like the null spell in there. Because again, it's another, you have to hold up 3. That's right, it's 3, not 2. You have to hold up 7 to Topsy this? I'm actually not that worried about it.
Yeah. I mean, and a null. Okay, a null can be played for 2 here. So
no, it's clerical. Oh, no, level 2. Sorry, yeah, level 2. Yeah. That's pretty sick. And then we have the Enfeebling Orb also, a card that's been getting some good, like for a good reason, getting to see play now. This 0 cost, put 2 down when you're like just going to combo off is kind of crazy.
Yeah, so it's got play around Topsy.
Yeah. All right, I'm back on. Let's go. Spirit of Purity Rye. Let's get there. All right. But yeah, so those are our predictions for London. We both expect a lot of dragons, but we're hoping Spirit of Purity Rye can make it in. Hopefully we see some more creative ideas coming out. If not at London, then we'll have A&B Alter. We'll see what happens from that. And then LA is like the big moment. We got a bunch of regionals and store champs in between. By the way, when's your regional this season, David, at Banner Zone?
February 28th. Buy your ticket now.
Okay. February 28th.
We sold out on our last one, and we now upped our cap. We can fit 104 people. It'll be cozy, but we can fit 104 people. And there is now 3K in pricing.
A 3K prizing regional event. Pretty insane. February 28th. So if you are in the eastern part of the United States, or maybe if you're not, whatever, just come on down anyway.
We have had people travel from all over. We've had someone come in from Canada. We've had people come up from Florida, Ohio. Like every time people come up, it warms my heart. They tell me how much of a good time that they had, even though that they had a long drive ahead of them afterwards or a flight out. We always try to put on as a greater regional as we can, and we litter everyone with free stuff too. Lots of giveaways.
That is excellent. And we also have a regional coming up here. Now, ours is in Fargo, North Dakota. So obviously, it's not as easy for everybody to get to. But, and also, I'm not going to make this easier on you guys, because I'm going to say it's on January 31st. We'll have a regional. We will not have 3K in prizing. So not quite as cool. But I promise, when I can finally reveal the participation bonus that everybody gets and the exclusive sleeves that are available in our stable of what are tend to be high value on the secondary market Dragon Shield sleeves you can get. And the participation bonus is just added on to our normal giveaways. But I think you guys are going to be glad that you planned to come to the Maindeck Regional on January 31st as well.
You guys always go above and beyond with the themed merch. So
we are continuing to ramp it up for this one. And if you can't make it, I get it. It's a short notice. It's a long trip. I'm telling you right now, our RDO season regional is going to be absolutely insane. It's going to
I'm going to try and get to that one.
I'm going to ask the Pennsylvania crew to try to get to this one. It's going to be celebrating the game in the same style that Radiant Origins is. We're going to have some really cool exclusive stuff we're working on right now, and I actually am going to pump a big prize into that one too. So it's going to be a big deal. But yeah, those are some of the upcoming events you should get to wherever you are. Try and come to those. And David, I think it's about time. Let's move in and just kind of talk about our main centerpiece of the episode today, which is the content creator journey for Grand Archive. Now, we already did set the stage a little bit, right? We talked about your past and careful study and kind of where it's come from. So I guess I just think we should start by diving in right to the. Let's go. Actually, I know I wrote something different on our thing here. We're going to go right to the heart of the matter. Okay. We're going to talk about the Creators Guild, because I think that has framed the journey for a lot of people, maybe differently than a lot of people were expecting for their like journey to go, because suddenly there were metrics. Suddenly there was someone that they were trying to do their content now in a certain way to appease in a way that's unfortunately not been super clear, but is getting better, I think, for people. So David, I wanted to get your standpoint, because for me, I had a weird and biased standpoint where I just already met kind of the requirements and was brought in, from the get-go. But you are working on trying to get in. So how do you view the Creators Guild and your content creator journey trying to get there?
I was not expecting them to do such a thing at all. Like really the only thing I was kind of putting up on a pedestal as a goal for myself and the channel was to at some point get a spoiler. That was always like, yeah, that would be awesome, getting a spoiler. I think that would be really cool. And then they announced the Content Creator Guild, and they put all of these like, oh, here's what you need to do to make it into this. And here are all the awards and the rewards that you get for doing this. And I was blown away by it, because I'm like, okay, that's really something to strive for. I wasn't expecting that. Like it seems very generous to do that. I will say that it did kind of change how I approached how I was putting things together. I think it escalated the level of detail in the content that I was doing. I was aiming to constantly improve, polish every single time we put out a new video at a much faster pace than I was initially intending to.
Yeah.
Because really, I've been putting together this content with what I had around, like I don't have a fancy DSLR camera or anything along those lines. I have phones that I have around, and anytime I have an extra phone, I add it to my collection of cameras that I now use. But as soon as the Content Guild came out, I was like, okay, maybe I can do a vlog. I wasn't intending to do one initially, but yeah, all right, what do I need? I got myself one of those gimbal selfie sticks, and I started to do footage while we were in Niagara for that. And I was actually very happy with how that came out. So it definitely gave me something to strive towards at a faster pace than I had initially anticipated. And I started really promoting like the channel a lot.
Sure.
I started promoting it in way more places than I had before. Making Facebook posts, posting into Discords that I hadn't been participating in before. I opened up a Twitter account, which I hadn't expected to do. I opened up a TikTok account, which I hadn't expected to do. And I feel like I initially overwhelmed myself.
Sure.
Because it's a lot. It was just a lot. And I had like pipelines for producing content that were not optimized whatsoever.
Sure.
I was doing things. I have a background in graphic design, animation, and actually TV production, like way back when. Yeah. So like I know what I need to be doing, but I'm just like, I didn't feel the need to bust out like the big boy tools to make my YouTube content at the moment. Right. And I was still just using iMovie on my Mac, I was just like,
the iMovie editor. Let's go.
I was just using the iMovie editor. It was quick and dirty. It has major limitations, but I'm like, yeah. I was just like, I have Premiere. I do not want to bust out Premiere. I do not want to bust out After Effects right now. I don't want to. There was all these things that I just didn't want to do, and I was like,
for
I had to sit. Oh, go ahead.
Is it like a separation of work and hobby that was like it created like a line for you that you just didn't want to cross?
It kind of did, because I spend all day in Adobe products, and I really didn't want to just start diving in there also and feel like I was just constantly at work. Yeah. And I have a love-hate relationship with Premiere. It's very powerful, but at the same time, I do not like its interface.
Tell me about it.
I do not like its interface. So I was searching for something that was, more drag and drop. Like I want the WYSIWYG equivalent of a video editor, a nonlinear editor. And I was looking at, a couple of Pro Tools that I could get on Mac, and they're very expensive. And then I came across like DaVinci Resolve. And this is free. This is actually very powerful.
Yes.
And if I want to get any of the more advanced tools for it, the upgrade is actually not that expensive. So I've now been working a lot in DaVinci Resolve, which is a drag and drop editor that I have found to be very akin to iMovie, honestly, in the way it operates, but just immensely more powerful. Like I can have so many video tracks, so many audio tracks, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that you found the familiarity of your old standby iMovie and DaVinci Resolve.
I had friends who produced fantastic things in Windows Movie Maker.
Windows Movie Maker, yeah.
Yeah. They cut their teeth on that, and they produced fantastic content on that.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's not as much about the tools. It's about knowing how to use them, right?
Yes.
And that's that. Like what I've seen people. I just remembered this. There's a game. Oh boy, actually, I was just thinking, what can I say? I have a commission. It's going to come out next year. There's a game. That's all I'm going to say right now, just because I can't remember what I am supposed to say. But this game is, all the art is done in MS Paint.
Nice.
But it does not look like it. I was like, wow, ridiculous. Or maybe, wait, no, sorry, it's not MS Paint. I'm thinking of something else. There's something else where I've seen some impressive MS Paint art. This one is, it's all made in the equivalent of PowerPoint. That's what it was. It's like a PowerPoint, the artist, effectively. I can't remember if it's like the Apple equivalent of PowerPoint, but either way, that's all, because I can't remember, and I don't want to start lying to everybody, but sure. I'm positive it was that. It was whatever equivalent of PowerPoint, if not PowerPoint itself. And the art just looks phenomenal. Like, I don't know how you figured this out, but yeah. So it's, I think sometimes it's about, it's about how to use the tools, not necessarily the tools themselves. That said, I am, for better or worse, a big Adobe user. And I cut my teeth on GIMP back in the day when I was doing my photo editing, my graphics creation or whatever. And then one day I was like trying to make a shape in GIMP or something. And I'm like, this should not be this hard. It should not be as difficult to like make a rectangle right now or something. Yep. So I got an Adobe subscription and I have never looked back since that day. I'm just very, very ingrained in it, but sometimes I want to wring its neck when like an error happens. And I don't know, it's just an error. Sorry, you have an error. That's it. You have to cut that part out of your video or try reducing down dating the program to a previous version and see if it doesn't work there.
My favorite error message from Adobe products is Photoshop has encountered an error. What error?
You don't need to know about it, but trust me, there was an error.
Oh my goodness. I had a slight heart attack the other day when I was trying to open up one of my files that I used to create all of my thumbnails for both like events and my YouTube thumbnails. And it's a fairly large file.
Yep.
I went to open it, and all of a sudden, I just saw Photoshop sitting there going like, I'm trying to read it. And I'm like, oh, dear God, don't you tell me you corrupted that file. And I walked away for 15 minutes and it finally opened. So my issue with my extremely large thumbnail file, and I want to say right now that for anyone who's a budding content creator, I don't think this is a best practice. No, don't do this.
Having one giant file that you do all your thumbs in. But, no. That said, I do. And what I found is occasionally I will load that file in and it'll throw an error. It'll start throwing infinite errors because it'll be like, can't read layer 4,732 or something. And just to put in perspective, that's way too many and not
way too many unnamed layers.
Yep. But I've learned what that means is that the hard disk space that needed to be annexed to hold working memory for this file has run out and the hard drive is too full. Yep. And I need to actually like clear of several hundred gigs off of my hard drive so it can load the file again. And I'm like this has happened several times for me now. And you'd think at some point I'd go, I better fix this. And I'm sure I will eventually, but I haven't yet.
It has to be catastrophic before we end up fixing it, right? Like my advice to everyone is if you are working in content creation and you have a thumbnail document, don't do this. Create a new file.
Yeah, don't do what we do.
When Photoshop says it can no longer save it as a PSD and says that it must make it a large document format, that is your sign.
That's the sign
that your file is too big. Start a new one.
Very, very, very true. Okay, back to the Creators Guild. As much as I'd love to just talk about Adobe products all day,
this is the Photoshop podcast.
Yeah, it kind of is. I don't know. It is something different though. Something that Taylor won't get to talk to me about yet. At least I don't know. Maybe someday. But so it's kind of fun to get to. But So the Creators Guild, you said something really, really important about this that I want to really I want to riff on a little bit here.
Sure.
So the Creators Guild, you said, forced you to basically escalate your content creation faster than you would have normally, right?
Yes.
And I think one of the big one of the what's created the most friction with a lot of content creators for the creators who are doing Grand Archive content creation and see the Creators Guild and they see the carrot and they see the ludicrous amount of stuff that you get for being a part of this. The friction is that they now feel that exactly what you did for very good reason. I need to get in that. I should be working towards that. I need to do that. But that is circumventing what is normally a long form process, a longitudinal exercise in becoming more familiar and naturally growing and improving as you partake in a hobby. It's effectively the equivalent of saying, well, I've never played Tristan before, and the Ascent is tomorrow, so let me go grab True Champ, and I'm going to become an expert at this in one day, and grinding it. And whether or not you actually, whether it very much well might be possible that you can go day 2 that Ascent after you do that. You may have actually screwed up True Champ's chances because you gave them probably not great testing the night before. But it's going to be painful. It's going to be a painful experience because when you're doing content creation, so my story is a lot more long form. I mean, I don't have the background in professional production that you do, but my channel's been around for, oh no, is it 9 years now? This might be my 9th year.
You're an old man.
Yeah, I'm getting close to a decade of doing content creation. And I actually, I encourage everybody to go back and watch. I have not deleted a single video on the channel. Go back and watch them. I seriously, if I were embarrassed about it, I wouldn't, I'd delete them then, right? But I'm not. It's because there's a natural process that happens when you start content creation. And a lot of the time, like you started, David, like you said, you start off I'm just going to make some stuff. I like this thing. I want to talk about it. My channel started because I actually began developing for a trading card game called Metacross that was dead very soon after it launched because the company didn't know how to or care about promoting it. They probably knew how, but the bigwigs didn't want to put any money into it. But it was a cool game. And I saw that nobody was interested in doing content for it. So I was like, well, I'll do it. I'll throw some stuff out there. And I had that background doing graphic design at a very, very, very basic level to try and create signs and stuff for the games that I liked to play before I started developing for this. For the Dragon Ball Z card game from Panini led into that one, but then a million games before that I was working with.
One.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I played the Score one too. I'm an old head, but yeah, I started there, and then I spent several years just making videos, putting them out and going, man, that one was kind of blurry. Huh. And if starting to, one piece at a time, be like, I wonder how I can end up, not end up with a blurry video. What do I need to look into to do that? Or why is my camera shutting off after 15 minutes? I remember that one. That one bothered me a lot. And then starting to work in, my first software I edited in was one called YouTube. It was called YouTube Movie Maker. And I'm pretty sure it was just a garbage piece of software that they just a base level editor that would not work half the time, but they charged $50 for it instead of subscription. So they're like, here, yeah. And it exports perfectly for YouTube right away. So whatever. Nobody should ever buy that software. It's terrible. And then I went to whatever the Corel one was called for a little while, and that was awful. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to get the full Creative Suite for Premiere and just do that now. Everyone's got a journey, right? In content creation. But if I was given the Creators Guild right away, I'm sure I would try to escalate my content faster, but I'm not positive that I could get it to where my content is now in the length of time that people want it to get there because of how valuable every 4 months the drop is. Right.
It's an insane incentive. And I can see why there is, and it wasn't even something that it's not something that I consciously did either. It was almost subconsciously. And in retrospective, as I look back over like putting stuff out, it's like, man, I ramped up faster than I was ready to.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. And I think that's what I mean when I say friction, right? It's that like normally as you're doing this growth process over years, you have a small base of viewers who there's a lot of YouTube viewers out there, and I know I'm talking to them right now. And some of you guys are the real ones. I know you. You're the ones who are out there like, this 222 sub channel, I like them. I'm going to sub. And, I like the cut of their jib or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you guys are the ones who carried me and everyone else through those early days of like putting out, frankly, just in retrospect, garbage from, when you get to this stage where you've done it for long enough and you've grown enough, you can look back and go, man, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. Like that's, but like, you normally have these viewers who are like kind of keeping you going. Like, yeah, cool. I got 5 likes on this video. This video rules. Like, that's awesome. And they motivate you to continue posting over a long period of time as you slowly and without needing to like try and level up yourself too fast, you do kind of find little things to improve over time, one thing at a time. Whereas when you go to the Creators Guild incentive and you start content creating, you now go, well, okay, so let's see. So I need in the first 30 seconds, I need to figure out a good animation. I got to do a cool animation here. I got to have a nice looking sting. I have to make sure my overlays are looking really professional. My thumbnail's got to be really good. If I come up with a good title thumbnail combo yet? And then my content itself, like, is this interesting? Is it timely? Is it like, there's like so much you're suddenly thinking about optimizing that you didn't before all at once. And you're absolutely some of that stuff is supposed to be muscle memory over time. It's supposed to be like, okay, I'm used to doing this kind of intro. I'm used to doing this. I'm used to thinking about what type of content works and doing a thumbnail and a title that works. Not, I have to figure it all out right now.
I still forget to introduce myself sometimes at the start of Careful Study Show. I get so excited into just being like, let's talk about it.
Yeah. It's a challenge, right? So David, as now from your channel's perspective, your channel, I mean, when I look at a lot of the channels out there for Grand Archive, yours is one of the closest to getting there from the perspective of your metrics are already really good. And you and I'm going to talk about this because you and I have talked about this in the past already. So it's not like, it's no surprises here or anything. It's been mostly just figuring out how to level up kind of the other elements around it, the editing, the polish, the kind of stuff that starts to just make your video look like it is. Like the way I always phrase it to people is, you want to look like your full time is content creation.
And a lot of these things they're things I know I need to do, but I'm trying. What I'm really trying to do now is, once I came to the kind of that realization that I am going too fast, is I'm trying to, every time I make something new, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try something new in this video and see if it works. I'm going to try a new editing trick. I'm going to try a new way to record audio. Small iterative changes instead of trying to do everything all at once, because ultimately I still want to deliver, and I want to deliver content that's enjoyable. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, I'm so happy you said that, because I think like that's where I kind of wanted this conversation to get to, which is that like I think that it is possible for a dedicated content creator to get into the guild in a cycle or two, a set or two, a release or two. But I think it's really, really hard to do that. And I think it's a lot better you've basically just said, I'm going to step back and try and do this the more natural way, because that's what you do when you're just doing videos over time with no pressure to like immediately level up. And you start to explore what works and what doesn't. And for what works and what doesn't is different for different people. A lot of the time, it's your audience might be composed of a different segment, even in the same niche, a different segment of the viewers there. Like there are a couple of Grand Archive channels who post more negative content than I post on Maindeck. And I'm pretty sure that there are viewers subbed there that do not want to sub to me. And there's viewers subbed to Maindeck who do not want to sub over there. So just a very simple explanation of how there can be kind of differing people in any given niche. And what works for them, for their viewers that like them, that they want to make content for, that they have fun making content for, is very different than what works for me.
I think first and foremost, I want to create things that I enjoy viewing as well.
Yes.
Like I have very particular tastes when it comes to like YouTube. I enjoy things that are casual conversations, people that you might have a conversation with somebody at your local game store. Like I like listening to that. It's as if I'm there with them, but I'm at the other table and I'm just listening to what they're saying. And I'm like, oh yeah, I agree with that. Oh no, what is he talking about? But I love that kind of casual back and forth between, people who are, who obviously enjoy what they're doing, enjoy the game that they're playing. And then when it comes to shorts, those are things that like, I just want something amusing, or I want some quick info, which is kind of what led me to be like, you know what? People, especially new players, they like deck lists, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to fan out my cards and show them a deck list, which kind of led to like the majority of my shorts just being me kind of going through either a deck I'm playing, a deck that someone at the locals is playing, or a deck I saw at an Ascent. I build it and I immediately just film it and I flick through it. And it gives me an opportunity to try new things, because those are kind of like, they're low cost, low impact type of videos. They're fun for me to do. Yeah. And I try funny jokes that I think are funny anyway. I play with audio, I play with animation, and sometimes they skyrocket and I have no idea why. And other times no one looks at them.
Yeah, that does be the nature of shorts. Yeah. That's part and parcel with doing shorts. But I want to point out, just not to glaze you up too much in this episode, but you have some of the most viewed Grand Archive shorts of any YouTube channel at all.
I have no idea how that happened.
Well, I'm
trying to replicate it with these, but it was always the deck lists that seem to pop off.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, replicate that so more people get to see it. And this pure rye list, yeah,
it went crazy.
It went crazy.
I think I guess I can't say exactly why one pops off versus the other, but I do know that you're very consistent with your shorts. You put out a good amount of them. And like you said, they're informative. They get the job done way faster than I can do a deck profile. That's for sure. And I think the big thing is I totally lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? I had a really, really poignant point. But when you're producing these shorts, you are definitely like serving to an audience that channels out there for Grand Archive are not like currently serving content to. There's just not a lot of actual shorts production for Grand Archive, even though they're an extremely popular part of YouTube.
I think a lot of it, I would imagine a lot of it has to do with that the requirements for the content guild for shorts is really high.
Of course.
And shorts are just difficult to get numbers. They really are. Even getting over 1,000 on a short can be really difficult. And they're just so fast with the content, people flicking away and so forth. So coming up with something that's like super entertaining or informative is a challenge. And once you have kind of like a template, which is exactly what I've done with the deck list, is that it's a template. I become faster and faster and faster at like editing these, and it becomes like just secondhand to me, and I can actually crank out one of those in under 2 hours. So,
okay. So a couple of things that we mentioned that I want to just hone in on as far as like take homes for people. People who are especially, I mean, this is going to be a small part of the audience here, but content creators out there who are trying to content create, or people who are just interested in it in general. Yeah. You said, David, make what you enjoy watching. That definitely should be your guiding light. I think at some point, depending on how serious you want to get about content creation, you can start to consider things slightly wider than that, which is like, the way I like to think about it is how can I make something I like that is serving something that my audience wants? It's like at some point you can add on that extra portion of like, what's the twist on this that really makes it like appeal to a wider audience? So I think that's overall, that's a really good thing to do. But you mentioned templates, and templates are the secret. They're not even secret, but the key to like all of my editing, I have a Premiere file that has a lot of sequences, a number of sequences in it, and I just pull from those sequences a video of a type I've done before into the timeline that has a lot of the bits already in, and then I remove the old footage and I put in the new footage, and then I move things around and I go through and do all the editing that I have for the new thing. But it's a lot of content creation is figuring out how to battle your own amount of time and make it so that you can actually put things out. It's like it's doing work up front to reduce the amount of time every week that you're doing one thing or another. And again, something that you pick up generally over a long time as you start to create, you know what, I want to try doing a vlog, right? And then I don't have a template for it. So now you have one. And then,
I mean, like when I did the vlog, I just looked at what other people in the community had done for their formatting and like how they handled it. I looked at other content creators who had done vlogs for various different types of games, for video games, card games, everything. And I copied some of their format. I was like, all right, that seems to work. I can try that. And, I look back at it and I see things that worked. I see things that I don't like and that I will change the next time I do one.
Yeah. And that's another huge thing is just like one part of being a YouTuber, being a content creator that does get a little underrated sometimes or underappreciated is how much you gain from actively looking at what other people are doing and telling yourself you have like, sometimes I think there's a hurdle that people have to overcome. Like you have to look at another creator's content and go, they did that. So if they did that, I can do that. How can I do that? And there's somewhere it's like, look, I'm not going to look at like Mr. Beast's channel and be like, obviously I just got to hire 600 editors and have $10 million and I can do this kind of like whatever, but you can look at other content creators in the space. I highly encourage people to look at anyone who's currently in the guild. If you're trying to get in Creators Guild, look at people who are in the guild, look at your content and look at everything that you can possibly compare between those and figure out what you do well, what you do better, and then what you do worse. and use that as your guiding light to say, well, anything worse, how can I get it to that stage? How can I make this look like how Kel does his videos? How can I make this how can I do this in the entertaining way that Sparkle Sis does their videos? Like,
I looked at a lot of their stuff for the vlogs.
yeah. I would 100% look at Sparkle Sis for the vlogs. 100%. Yeah. They're great. I think all of that is I think really important for content creators who are trying to get in the guild to keep in mind and consider. But also I love the idea of just step back, like just let's all, if you're here trying to make content, you are signing yourself up for a ton of work for a long amount of time, and you don't want it all to be worthless, right? Which means you are expecting Grand Archive to be here for a long time. And
I absolutely am.
And if you're expecting I am too. If you're expecting Grand Archive to be here for a long time, I know you want the stuff now, but it's okay. Just try and grow. And it's you don't need to be in the guild for Ardeos season, right? Like you'd love to, but
it's kind of something that I put in the back of my mind at this point. Like I know it, like there is this, you can let impatience overwhelm you. You can make it feel like it's a personal slight, but that's not it. There are metrics that obviously they're looking for, but at the same time, there's also just growth of your own content and your own self. I know the areas where our content needs to improve. I'm getting good views. I'm not getting a lot of comments. I'm not getting a lot of engagement. People are watching it, but they're not talking. So how do I improve that? I have one video that hits 3,000 views as a long form video. I'm like, how did I do that? And then the next one barely hits 1,000.
Right.
So I have to look at those and figure out, okay, how can I make this more consistent? I want to be more consistent, because if I'm more consistent, then maybe Senpai will notice me.
Right. And I also want to say that I'm definitely, the point of what I'm saying now is not, because I'm afraid people are going to take it this way. I'm in Creators Guild and I don't want you guys to be in Creators Guild. There's the clip. You can clip that out right now.
Clipping it. I'm clipping it. It's gonna be the stinger for my next show.
No, and just to put my money where my mouth is, as we're recording this today, earlier today, I posted in the content creator Discord, not the guild one, the open. Well, you have to just be a content creator, then you can be in that Discord. My willingness to coach or to consult with people for my free time for zero financial gain to help them figure out what they're missing to get into Creators Guild, right? So like I'm actively trying to help people get over that friction that exists. And I think just going back to that idea, like there is a friction if you're trying to get into the guild fast, because you're taking a 4 or 5 year journey and trying to do it in 4 or 5 months. Right. But
you can't shortcut it.
Right. I fully expect, actually, some people I consult with will go, man, this is tough. This is a lot of work. Like, all right, I didn't know I had to think about any of that stuff, or I don't really want to do that. I expect some of that stuff. And it may be, I'm kind of hoping the result is, I hope I can help a few people go, that was it. That was the part I was missing. I hope I can also help a few people go, I don't know if I want it that much, because that's part of the journey too, is finding out that like, I don't love doing this. Some people do, some people don't.
If it becomes a chore.
Yeah.
And you dread doing it, that's going to come through in the material that you make.
Yes.
You're going to have to put on a chipper or happy face, or not. And the fact that you're not enjoying yourself will be evident to those who are watching. And it's just going to make the whole experience worse for you and worse for the people viewing. And it's not going to feel great. So yeah, I can understand why they don't want to have a flood of new entries as well, because they don't have any idea how long some of us are going to be around.
That's like, I really think that's part of the reason why there's this nebulous bar of quality or something. I think it's part,
Sure.
and not the whole reason, but like, this is part of it, is that if you just make a channel and you just do what you need, like you do what you need to do, you get the metrics up there, you post, you invest in tons of nice equipment, and just so you're immediately like your production quality is off the chain. And maybe you even like pay an editor or something to do the editing so it looks insane. And then they start investing in you, and you a couple months later are like, I think I'm going to go just do Digimon content now. That was not a good investment from the company.
No.
And frankly, it also is probably like, this is probably a person who doesn't actually like doing content creation, and they're not going to be there for like, I want you to be happy, whether you are making content or not. My goal is like, if you're like, I just needed the extra push, I needed the extra help, I want to help you do that. And if that extra push is to find out that, oh, it's not what I thought it was, I'd have more fun playing the game, volunteering at Ascent, whatever you want to do. I'd love to help you figure that out too. I want to help people get where they're supposed to be in life, whatever that is.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, I don't want to be cliche, but it's not a sprint.
Yeah.
No, it's not a sprint.
Yeah.
And, I understand that. I mean, again, like I said, that initial offering, I was like, oh, cool, yeah, I want to get in on that. And then I realized that there's time. There's plenty of time.
Yes. I think, more so than ever before, I think this year we're going to see some incredible moves from Weaves of the Shore, some incredible future for the game presenting itself. I feel like it would take a lot for this game to stumble in a big way at this point. I want to be realistic and say it's not out of the question, but I don't see it right now. And so if you're just getting started your content creator journey, sign up for a consultation with me, please. I'll help show you what I think. And I'm not a genius or anything, but I've just been doing it for a while and it's been reasonably successful. So I hope I can pass something useful on to people. But then just take your time, get there. It is better to get there naturally. I know it sounds dumb and it's going to sound like some people are going to go but I want the stuff. Don't tell me that. Well, it's just kind of true. I don't know.
Like any good TCG player, you want to chase something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's an incredible reward. Like you said right away, David, it's an incredible reward. It is very, very valuable. Obviously for a lot of reasons. So the carrots never looked juicier than, or what's it? You don't really want your carrots to be juicy. You buy carrots at the grocery store and the bag's juicy. You're
that's a bad carrot.
Yeah. All right. So it's never been earthier than that or something. I don't know. I'm not a gardener. I don't know what a good carrot looks like, but it's never looked like a better carrot than this carrot. It's real carroty.
And scene.
But yeah, what I hope people got out of this conversation, David, was I think a perspective from someone who's honestly really close, but has tried and not succeeded so far, has put in applications and not been chosen for the guild. But I love your point of view and your optimism. And I hope it's it's something we haven't gotten to talk about a lot here. And I hope it's provided some interesting perspective, for people. I'm going to do some call to actions, David, but I'm going to give you a chance here. Any shout outs or anything you want to do before I do that? Well,
obviously you should subscribe to the Careful Study YouTube channel.
That's a content creator right there. There we go.
You should like this video as well. And then drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever tried making content before? What content have you made? Let's hear about it.
There we go. David did my call to actions for me. But yeah, I would love if you guys did enjoy this. If you found this fun, if you liked hearing from David, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe, of course, to the Careful Study channel, because David has a lot of other insight. He's going to probably have some more vlogs or something at some point. You can get a lot of cool stuff on that channel, but especially head down to the comments and let us know, because this is a different co-host. This is a different topic than normal. What are your thoughts on the Creators Guild and anything that we had to talk about today as far as advice, or or tell me if you clipped out that very awful clip of me saying that I don't want anyone else to be in the guild, because it's very untrue. But
I told you it's going to be the stinger of our next show.
Oh my God. Oh no. This is the problem with creating content. All right. Well, David, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a blast, and I hope Taylor got some good testing in tonight. Appreciated having you. And when's the next Ascent I'm going to see you at again? LA?
No, I can't go to LA. Unfortunately, I have work trips I have to go to now.
Work.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're not going to see me till Vegas.
Okay. Well, at least Vegas is going to be a good one. So
I'm going to be in Vegas a lot this year because I have to go down to Vegas 3 times for work.
See, you got to make your work trips into Grand Archive trips. Huh? There we go.
I'm working on it.
You're working on it. Maybe eventually we'll get there. All right. Well, thank you so much, David. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Enjoy.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.